What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Art of Suffering podcast with Dalton Darnell. Today we have Gracie and Pedro Torres of Cavietta Horse and Cattle?
Quarter Horse and Cattle Company.
Quarter Horse and Cattle Company. I practiced that intro like 400 times and I still screwed it up. So I actually just left their place about 2 weeks ago. We had a ranch roping clinic and a rope in there. It was a ton of fun. And so I wanted Gracie and Pedro to come on and kind of visit with you guys. Their community they have there is really pretty special. It's a pretty special thing to get to walk into and experience. It was a lot of fun, a lot of new ropers, a lot of people learning. And just a really cool atmosphere. So I kind of want to start with that, you guys, is kind of how you guys got started there at Cavvietta and what you've built there.
Take it away.
That's going to be on a YouTube short.
All right.
The old look at each other. That was fantastic.
Well, this is why I looked at her, because she is a lot louder and she talks faster than I do, so she can cover the same subject in like 10 seconds.
Oh, well, good.
So well, we started. We opened up here in December of 2017, and we were teaching a few lessons, beginner lessons, horsemanship primarily, and Pedro was training some horses and doing some roping gigs. And we just kind of started growing, and we do have the best community. The people that come here, and it's not because of me and Pedro, it's because God is great and he sends us fabulous people, and our barn family is fantastic. They're all very willing to help each other and pitch in and help where we need, and our ranch hands are fantastic. They work really, really hard. The people here are full of integrity, and again, it's nothing that we did, it's just God providing for us.
It's pretty amazing, and I've been fortunate enough to step into a bunch of communities like that. You know, like when we did the His Cavvy Foundation in Colorado, that community of people was really cool. The place we went in Italy, like I was telling Pedro, it's very similar to what you guys have there. You know, and that's the thing about it. You guys listening, if you've ever been to a ranch roping or a ranch rodeo or any kind of environment like that. Sometimes you get the old stink eye. You know, a horse show probably is similar. I've never done that, but I'm sure it's similar to that. People are just kind of looking at you because you're there to compete, and that is not the vibe here at all. Like the roping that y'all had on Saturday, it was just everybody was rooting for everybody. It's just a really cool community. And so I had a guy call me today. Okay, actually he texted me yesterday, and I called him. And he asked me, he was like, I want to get into the cowboy thing. I want to go work on a yearling place and this, that, and the other. And basically what he's hunting is what you guys have built. You know, that he's not ready to probably go doctor yearlings on a place. He's still just learning, and that's kind of a hard job to learn at. And he lives about 2 hours from Ohio. And so I told him about Cam, and I'm sure their community is similar to you guys. And so I kind of want you to speak to that. How does somebody find something like that? Or was that your hope when you started the deal, or did it just happen?
Well, we always wanted a beginner-friendly environment here. That was our goal, was to make it where people could leave here and go ride with the big wigs. They could go start their own deal. You know, we wanted to just give them the foundation where they felt welcome and happy to learn, and send them, in any direction that they wanted. And we have people that have been with us for 10 years still, and they are, we go to a lot of horse shows, and those kids are very competitive at the shows that we go to. So it's really cool to see the program advancing. And Pedro and I are serious about continuing education for ourselves. So that helps us kind of advance our children, or our adult children, to our students along with us. But we always, first and foremost, want people with no experience to feel like they can come in and give stuff a try without being shamed or nervous or scared, I guess.
Mm-hmm. What's your viewpoint on gatekeeping in the Western world?
You know,
Is it a thing?
I think that maybe it is a thing, but we just have so many mentors around us that are so willing to help out. There's a ton of local trainers that, I mean, Pedro and I didn't know anything well, Pedro knew stuff. I didn't know anything when I started, and I had a ton of trainers that, there's somebody in the horse world, and they just took me under their wing and really, really helped me out. And I think that if you look for the right people, they'll be there. You got to look for the people who have similar values to what you have, and you'll be in a good place. I think we've always been very blessed.
I'm gonna for me, I got no problem passing along anything to somebody who wants to learn.
That's right.
And I think a lot of people who scream from the rooftop gatekeeping might not have the right attitude. You know what I'm saying? Because if you walk in thinking you know something, like I try to go everywhere I go and know nothing.
Right.
I know nothing.
Right.
Short of someone hiring me to come to a clinic. That's a little different. When you're the guy teaching, you need to know something. but when I go to a Brandon or go to doctor with guys or whatever, I keep my mouth shut. I learn. I follow direction. That's just kind of my viewpoint on it. Is I did a I guess it was a TikTok last year, but I sat down and I wrote down all these things. I was on a plane actually, and I wrote down all these video ideas. And one of the video ideas was the right attitude to be good at ranch roping, and the attitude is an open mind.
That's right.
And so I think that goes a long way with horses, with livestock. If you walk around knowing it all, well, then nobody wants to be around you. You know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah. And you've got something to learn from everybody. It could be what not to do, but you really can learn something from everyone if you
100%. So Pedro, kind of where are you from originally? Are you from North Carolina originally?
I'm originally from Mexico. Born in Mexico, raised here in North Carolina.
Okay.
Most of my life. Did some
I always find it odd to run into the buckaroo type down here. It's like a rare thing. I mean, why did your folks move to North Carolina? Work, I guess?
Work, primarily.
Yeah. Were they cowboying or doing something else?
No, they were doing something else. Always agriculture, construction. Everybody on my dad's side of the family, everybody on that side of the family rides, and they cowboyed in Mexico. So that's kind of where I get it from.
Do you ever go back to Mexico?
I went last year.
Did you cowboy any?
That was fun.
Man.
Yeah.
After I left y'all's place, I vowed to learn Spanish. I was like, I'm gonna learn Spanish. Maybe not this month because it's kind of busy for us during Brandon season. But I was like, when I saw, I guess I don't know if it was your brother. I think maybe it was your brother that came to the roping and he bought a wax cotton and he was doing like trick roping with it. And I was like, that thing's not even broke in, dude. I got to learn Spanish. I will be so much better at roping if I know Spanish.
There you go. Yeah. That was my brother.
It was dumb. He was like, hey, man, I really like this rope. I was like, no one likes those ropes, man. Not when they first get them. You're over here doing like freaking like jumping through the loop and stuff. I was like, dude. Come on, man. It's like you think you're good at roping until you get around somebody like that and you're like, nah, I ain't playing pig with you, old buddy. I know what that's about. Oh, that's awesome. Well, so I don't know. Have y'all listened to any of the podcasts thus far?
A couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you probably got a good idea of the premise of the whole thing. So the reason why we call it the art of suffering is because everybody on earth suffers. So Philippians 3:10 gives you your purpose and then basically tells you you're going to suffer. So that's kind of what I'd like to talk about. So there's probably a lot of people out there, myself included, who are pushing towards a goal. And the goal would be to be in y'all's shoes, to have a place to run and work and have a community of people. But getting the place is, almost impossible nowadays. Like, I don't know how the heck I'm even going to get there. It's going to have to be a total God thing. But the fact is that you guys have built something really cool. So I'd like you to walk me through that process a little bit, like how all that happened. You know what I mean?
It was a God thing.
Definitely. Because there is no way in the world we could have done it without a miracle.
Yeah.
We were at mom and dad's house, their old place, and they had a little 6-acre farm, and we were training horses and teaching lessons out of there. And we were starting to talk about maybe getting married, and Pedro and his family lived about 10 minutes up the road. It was crazy because we had never actually met each other, and we only lived a couple miles away from each other. So anyways, we met. I started taking lessons with him. We started training and teaching lessons to the public, and we outgrew the 6 acres. It had a full-size arena, an 8-stall barn. It was a cute little place, but we had 15 horses and 8 cows there, and it just was a lot for 6 acres. So we told mom and dad that we were going to start looking for property to purchase. And mom and dad said, I think we want to move also. So if you guys find somewhere, big enough for everybody, let us know. Maybe we can do a family thing. And we found this place, and it wasn't exactly what we wanted, but it was set up and ready to go. And the lady who owned it was willing to work with us a little bit. We found a bank that was crazy enough to work with us a little bit. And we prayed and prayed and prayed because it wasn't easy enough for them to just work with us. There's a lot of hoops we had to jump through. And my mama, bless her, she came out and prayed over every single fence post. And I will say that, everybody.
Did she really? Is that a real story?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
I am dead serious. And you saw there was a lot of fence posts out here. So
yes.
She'd walk the property and pray over it. It was a long process. We were in the process for a year?
A little over a year.
Yeah, to get here.
Gosh, that's crazy.
And
did y'all go through the government stuff?
No.
Or just the bank?
Just the bank.
Bro, that really government stuff.
It's all crazy. And no bank wanted to touch it because it was too much land and not enough real houses.
Mm-hmm.
And they were on different tracks. So the house itself that mom and dad stay in is on a different track than the ranch. So anyways, there was a lot of finagling that went on, and legally we did a lot of finagling legally, and it ended up working out, but it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I remember being so frustrated. One day I was like, you know what, we'll go back to Wyoming and work for somebody else because it's not going to work out. And mom and dad stepped in with their good pep talk, and they were like, if that's what you want to do, we'll do it, but don't quit just because it's hard. And we made it work. Pedro and I had some good, nice little horses riding around, and we had to sell all of our good horses. We had to sell our little herd of cows and all that to make the down payment. And then once we got in, making the mortgage payments was a whole nother story. It's been very trying here and there, and everybody dreams of financial freedom. We probably won't ever know what that feels like, but we are very blessed to be able to pay for and feel strapped for what we have now.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. That financial freedom thing is like a ghost in the wind, baby.
Yeah.
It's that is the number one thing I hate talking about the most on earth is money. Mm-hmm. I hate it. And the role I have assumed here at the rope shop is basically the CFO and the CEO, which we're not big enough to call it that. So it's more like a general manager, but all I do is talk about money. Like literally when I was in high school, 3 times I ran my truck out of fuel on the way to school because I did not want to ask my mom for money.
Oh, no.
And she would pick me up, dude. She would come I'd call her and be like, my truck's out of gas. And she would chew me out the whole way to school. She's like, just ask for $20. Like, I can give you $20 for fuel. Why won't you just ask me for money, And I don't know why. I just hate it. I hate talking about it. And God is absolutely destroying that part of my life right now because he's like, no, you going to talk about it. That, as a matter of fact, that's all you're going to talk about all day long. because
He has
it's,
a good sense of humor.
oh my gosh, it's awful. I'm going to be like Dave Ramsey by the end of it, but we'll just have a financial podcast where I
Yeah.
tell you all the mistakes I made.
Right.
That's awesome. So let's talk about, so we got one little one
Yes, sir.
and she is 5.
Yes, sir.
All right. So if you're talking to me, let's say you're talking to me, and let's say I'm 23 and I just got married and we're thinking about having kids, what do we need to expect? What's that change like?
You answer that one.
You want to talk about not talking about money. You won't have any money.
That's
if
a
you had it
fact.
before, you won't have it now.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
That freedom thing you were talking about, financial freedom, no finance or freedom.
Gone, son. Yeah, I call it a mourning of your old life. You have to mourn your old life. Like it changes so much, which honestly, like I got a 6-year-old and y'all got a 5-year-old. Like you kind of drowned out the bad years once you get to that point. It's like you can forget about it and like laugh about it a little bit. But buddy, that first year,
Oof, yeah.
that first year is a grind, dude. That is an absolute grind.
It was definitely, and I mean, even still, it can be challenging, but it is such a blessing. And we've carried our kid with us all over the country and doing ropings and horse events and stuff like that. So it's been really, really great to have her grow up with us. But I do remember some long car rides, truck rides, and some long nights, nursing the baby, changing diapers and all those things. But she travels well now, so that's exciting.
Well, Gracie, how much did your life change? Like what I've noticed with kind of the ranch mom thing, right? Like I've had some friends that were married and then had kids, and their wives are just just as good cowhands as they are, if not better, honestly. And then they have the kid, and it's kind of weird to see him sitting on the truck with the baby and not roping, or you know what I mean? Like did that change for you?
It did. I had to sit out a decent amount, but looking at it now, it's a blessing that I did it then. So now we can enjoy our time, and she's in the atmosphere and stuff. But I had to sit out a decent amount, and every now and then I still do. If she has an event or something to attend, then we have to. Family always comes first. And sacrifices have to be made for stuff like that. But it was definitely strange to have to adapt because I was into everything. I mean, and I'm kind of nosy. I want to be all up in everybody's conversations. And there are nights when I had to go put the kid away and everybody else is still out roping or standing by the fire or grilling out. And I'm like, oh, now we got to go inside and put the kid down for bed.
That's called FOMO.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
fear of missing out.
I still got it.
FOMO.
Yeah,
that's brutal. Well, it's interesting to me because for myself, like I just packed mine around like he was a good dog, and then he eventually became a good dog. You know what I mean? Like it was real rough at first, and then but now he's like handy. Like you can do stuff with him and send him and down him and all the things. He comes really good. Like if you whistle, that dude is, I take great pride in the fact that my kid comes on a whistle. Like any advice I give to a new dad's like, get your kid on a whistle. Like if you're at the park, there's kids everywhere and you hit that whistle and that sucker comes running to you. It's like you're peeking around at the other dads like, yeah, man, what's up? Yeah. You wish, buddy.
Pedro has all of us trained on a whistle. The
I'm
kids,
telling
the
you.
hands, everyone.
I'm telling you. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Well, I'm going to tell a funny story about Gracie.
Uh-oh.
Because I've told this story
Uh-oh.
to everyone I've talked on the phone to for 2 weeks because it's hilarious to me. So we're at this roping, man. The first thing I do at almost every clinic, one of the first things I do is I take my rope and I throw my rope under the dummy onto the dirt. Not a shot. I just throw it in the dirt. Okay. And then I look at everyone in the clinic and I say, This is not a shot. This is garbage. Okay. And they all laugh like I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. I'll make a video of it. I will make a YouTube video dedicated to this part of the clinic. So I'm judging the roping, okay? And I've never judged a roping before. And Gracie's sitting next to me on the trailer. And when I tell you guys, this woman is the biggest cheerleader I've ever met in my entire life, okay? You could throw the prettiest turnover on earth or the biggest wad of crap, and she is going to cheer you on, buddy. And I finally leaned up and looked over at her, and somebody in the arena, I don't remember who it was. It happened a lot, and it happens at every roping, especially when things get kind of woofy. You know, the cattle getting running around. And anyway, old boy throws just a wad of crap under there. I'm sure it was Cam. Just throws a terrible shot under there. And I'm just sitting there like this, right? And Gracie is losing her mind like this dude just threw the greatest roping shot. And I just leaned up and I was like, hey, don't cheer for that, okay? Don't. And she's like, what? I was like, you don't cheer for people just throwing their rope on the ground, okay? That's not a shot. We're not cheering for this. And then, so Gracie's giving me a little, she's like, come on, man, like it's a roping, I was like, Gracie, if you want all these people to get as good as you one day, you can't cheer for the bad ones, dude. You only cheer for the only positive feedback. And so for the rest of the roping, every time she'd cheer, she'd look at me like, am I supposed to be cheering right now? It was freaking hilarious. Like, there's nothing better than a group of people that come to a roping and no one cares how good you are. Like, it's so much fun. There's a ranch roping association in Kansas that is the exact same way. Like, everybody's cheering. They're either cheering or there's like 5 old dudes on the fence coaching, like a lot, like a lot. It was absolutely hysterical. So one thing we do have to talk about, and I wish I had this on video, but we didn't film that day, is let's talk a little bit about y'all's banter in the middle of the roping. Like, while you're roping, like literally Gracie's in there trying to one-man a calf, and her and Pedro are having a conversation about nothing remotely close to what's happening in there. It's like, hey, did you feed the dog this morning? No, I didn't feed it yet. Like, it was absurd. Like, it was so funny to me. So what is that about? Is that y'all's way of getting along as a married couple and roping together? Because that's rare. That's very rare.
We've had years of experience of trying not to kill each other. So, and I also forget to breathe. I get really nervous in high tense situations. I will and I forget how to do everything. And so if I talk a little bit, then I can make sure I'm breathing, and it works out better most of the time.
Did you play sports in high school or anything?
Have you seen me? No.
No? Oh, man.
So the flip side of that is normally we're yelling at each other, like arguing over the fence. And I finally got to the point where I was like, it doesn't matter how hard I yell at this lady. Like, it doesn't matter how clear I am to this lady. She's always going to ask, does it need to be half an inch past the hip? So I'm just like, how are you doing in there? Are you still breathing?
That's way better.
Words of affirmation.
I just
yeah. Hey, there's a lot of that going around at the Cavietta Quarter Horses and Cattle Company. There's a lot of words of affirmation. They'll make you feel awesome about yourself. And I feel like I roped like crap, and everybody was like, man, that's awesome. I was like, dude, that was not a good shot, dude. That was not good for me. I should not have missed that, like, oh my goodness. It's so funny. I did throw, I think, the longest Houlihan I've ever thrown in my life that day we practiced. I've watched it on video like 40 times. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that one had some range on it.
Heck yeah.
Which that's my favorite. But thank you so much, sir. I'm gonna sleep well tonight. Oh my gosh. Words of affirmation for everybody but Cam. Cam had a tough go of it, man. That guy gets bagged on.
With Cam.
That dude, he gets rawhided. He's the guy. And I really like Cam. I like Cam a lot. But he boy, he's either gonna get good or get good. Those are his chance. That's his options.
We don't give
Like,
him a choice.
yeah, if he ever wants to just have a nice, easy, I'm gonna go in and rope something and no one's gonna say anything. He's gonna have to go to another state, old son. Because y'all could smell that dude roping a mile away. Hey, it smells like Cam's missing over there, but somebody better slip in there and get after him.
he's got a leg in his lip.
That facts, dude. Oh my gosh, it's so dang funny.
I told him if he couldn't put a heel loop on that one calf that we couldn't be friends anymore.
Well, I mean, that's how it goes. That's how it goes. One guy, I think his daughter was going in for a shot. And he said something. It was so dang funny, man. Like from the fence, he said something like, "Hey, don't just throw a wad of crap in there." And I was like, "That was the best advice I've heard all day, man." That was fantastic.
Which is funny because his daughter is a roping son of a gun.
Yeah, she really did a good job. They which they all did, you know. I mean, it's all when you go into a learning environment like that, you gotta keep that in the forefront of your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When's y'all's next one?
There's
July 16th.
Yeah, I think there's a July date. And we moved it up to Virginia, so we'll be in Virginia for that one.
Okay, is that at Todd's?
It is going to be at Todd's.
Oh, very good.
Yep, we're excited.
I've talked to Todd quite a few times since we left there. He's a good dude. He's a really nice guy. Just bring her in. Get her to tell a story.
Can you say hello to Mr. Dalton?
Hi.
Hey. What'd you do today?
What did you do? What'd you do today?
I didn't know.
She doesn't know.
That's Wiley's answer too, almost always. Hey, Charlie, who's a better roper, mommy or daddy?
No.
Dang, Pedro, she got you, bro. That's fantastic. Oh, man. That's good stuff. So, with all that being said, if somebody wanted to start a ranch roping association, what advice would you give them?
I would say make it where if you want it to grow, and depending on what area you're in, you know, we're in Eastern North Carolina, so we want to make sure that we are inviting new people because there's not a lot of people that are doing big loop roping type out here. So make it easily accessible. I would say have as clear of a rule book as you can and be very inviting and welcoming to the newbies that are trying to get started because everybody has to start somewhere. And if they don't start, that's the next generation not entering, right?
Period.
Yeah.
Well, I did a podcast episode on the progression of a new skill. And in that episode, I talked about the challenges or the suffering that you would endure during each stage of the skill, right? And the final stage is becoming unconsciously competent, meaning you can do it without thinking, right? And the hardest part about being unconsciously competent about something is teaching new people. It's unbelievably difficult because you don't even remember. Like I can't remember what it's like to look at my horn every time I go to the horn. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then when you watch somebody do it, you're like, man, why is he looking at the horn? You know, but there's these little things that you learn to do over time, mostly from someone screaming at you from over the fence. Don't look at your horn. It's not going to move. You know what I mean? And then like I counsel people to like almost stay away from the arrogant ones. Like it's such a trap. You know what I mean? It's like just let Jesus show him humility. You know what I mean? Like I don't have to prove nothing.
You can't help people who don't want to help themselves.
No, 100%. And that's something you guys did really well is like y'all were very open and honest and graceful with the people who wanted to learn And then the people who thought they had something going on, you were just quiet. Yeah, you bet. Get after it. You know what I mean? And that's a good thing. That's hard to do. It's because you want to be like, hey, buddy, which honestly, every clinic I do, when I leave, I'm like, God, I'm such a jerk. Like I am so mean to people, but you kind of have to be sometimes. Like they'll get themselves killed. Like this is a big deal, you know?
It is, yeah.
But I don't know. It's always fun teaching those things because a lot of people get a lot of cool stuff out of them. But then you leave and you're like, man, I probably shouldn't have said that, you know, or I should have said it this way or whatever. But you know, a good thing about cowboys is most of them don't get butt hurt too bad about stuff. They can take a lick pretty good.
Yeah. Sure.
So talk a little bit, Pedro. Tell me about the Charo thing y'all got going on. Do you do that? Do you get out there and do that?
Yes, sir. We do. We actually just had a competition on Saturday here at the ranch.
Did you win?
Our team won. Yep.
You did?
Yep.
Is it horse roping or roping cattle?
So the traditional rodeo. So for anybody interested in the whole backstory, so there's a reining class, roping horse, the back legs on a horse. You have to do, I call it Mexican steel wrestling, where you grab them by the tail and you flip them. And then bull riding, roping, more roping, bronc riding, more roping. And then the leap of death at the end when you jump from a broke horse to a green horse, bareback.
Do you do that?
I used to. That's how I got a rod in my leg, my left leg.
Golly.
So, there's a documentary that our preacher's son put together. It's called Charo and the Steed by Matt Wagner. It's on YouTube. And
Charo and the Steed.
Charo and the Steed, and it talks about the origin of it and how it works, and somehow I got suckered into it and kind of.
Well, one could say you were kind of born into it, Pedro. Your name's Pedro Torres.
Basically.
Like, that's pretty cowboy, man.
Yeah.
Like, what you going to do with that?
Yeah. A little backstory to that. A funny story. We went to a cutting to help Gracie's coach, and Gracie was sick. And I went, we were loping horses, and I got off of a horse and went in the arena and sat down to watch it cut.
Mm-hmm.
And Holly was looking for me, and she asked one of the ladies standing nearby. She was like, "Hey, can you get Pedro to come over here? He needs to lope this other horse down." And she was like, "Well, who is he?" And I was the only brown guy there. And Holly's like, "Well, he's Pedro. He has a mustache. He's kind of a little bit darker than the rest of us."
He's that Mexican fella sitting down there in the arena, man.
Basically, he is the only Mexican here, lady. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, we were. I actually didn't start riding until I was a little older. I started steer riding, and they would put me on steers and calves, and grew up in the rodeo scene, but I didn't start riding until I was about 10.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's super late. What, are you serious? Maybe that's late in the Mexican culture.
Yeah, because all of my brothers were riding,
when they were born.
So I'm the oldest of 5, so I got the later start. They came
okay.
when we already had horses. An established routine.
What do you like more, the Charo rodeos, or do you like the big loop deal?
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Basically.
Is it scored the same?
No, it's not scored the same. In the Charo thing, there's you get scored. So you saw my brother's trick roping. So
yeah.
To head and heel the steer, so they have to ride a bull or a steer and buck them out. And then when he dismounts, he gets bonus points for removing the flank rope and his bull rope. And then, so the header is 3 riders per team. one of them heads, one of them heels, and one of them is the third man. If if somebody misses, then it just keeps rolling. So you get judged on how many fancy tricks you can do, how many maneuvers with a rope you can do.
That's crazy.
That
stuff is nuts.
And then you get judged on your, if you throw a hip shot or trap, So yeah,
is a hip shot worth more?
It is.
Yeah.
Hip shot's worth more. Yeah.
It's very similar. I think the big loop roping is about as close to the Cavviatta as white people are going to get.
Yeah, no, there's no question. You're not sending me in there.
This is one thing that has been said amongst us is a Charo can be a buckaroo, but a buckaroo can't be a Charo.
Facts. So. Now, and here's the thing, like, so when your brothers come watch y'all's roping, are they just like...
They used to do it.
And
then they fell in love and got girlfriends and stuff like that, and they want to save their money.
I'll tell you what, that right there, that right there. The guy that I talked to today was like, yeah, I have a fiance and I don't know if she wants to move or whatever. I was like, find a community close to home, my friend.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what me and my wife, she followed me all over the country. And it was good. It was good for us. But it was time to come back to where grandma lives. Because I always think, like, when I'm sitting there watching those guys watch the buckaroos do stuff, it's like, man, and I'm sure they can appreciate a nice shot and be like, hey, yeah, that was pretty cool, but it'd be like major league ball players watching Little League a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's a different ball game. That's a totally different thing. It's not, but it's the skill set to do that is ridiculous. Like, it would be so hard. That is so hard to do. Even the stuff he was doing on the ground, I was like, gosh, dang it, man. That is nuts. It's really neat. So you don't ride any rough stock anymore?
Not anymore. I used to bull ride, and I rode a few broncs in my time.
Yeah. Which did you like more?
I like both of them.
Yeah.
I like all of it. I like every event in rodeo, American rodeo, Mexican rodeo. I'm just passionate about the skill that goes into it because every event has its own technique, its own little niche.
There's few things prettier than watching a guy mow down a saddle bronc horse. Like, that's a cool thing to watch. When a guy really times one up and just goes to wearing them out, like, which I can't ride my horse worth of crap. So if mine gets silly at all, I'm bailing. I'm coming off right on my head. I always land right on my head every time. I'm shoulder heavy or something, just straight to the dome. Every branding I fall off at, every roping I've ever got bucked off at, it's my dad. I come out, my dad's like, God, you fall on your head every time. Like, what is wrong with you? Tuck and roll, old son, something. Do something different, But, so did y'all say earlier that y'all worked in Wyoming?
We did. We worked on a couple ranches out there. Nothing super handy, some guest ranches, but we learned a lot and we did a lot of really cool networking and met some super great people. And the whole time we were out there, we were playing with our ropes because what do you do in the downtime but pick up your ropes? So that's it.
This is rope the dummy.
Yeah, exactly.
And so y'all moved back for family?
I had actually taken a corporate job prior to accepting the job out at that ranch, and they told me they would hold the job for me. And I was like, well, dang, now I got to come back because they offered me, I couldn't turn down the money. And that was actually before we bought this place. And the goal was, he and I talked about it and we said, well, we'll go home and we'll work for a couple years, save up some money, buy a place and start from there. And that's what we did. And then we decided we wanted to go back to Wyoming. So we talked about being on a 10-year plan to get back to Wyoming. And I don't know that I want to be there in the cold anymore.
No, bro. That's a summer job, dude.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, Richard Boatwright, he runs a yearling deal or works for a yearling deal in Colorado in the summer, and then comes back. He lives in South Carolina for the winter. Which, if I had the perfect dream world, I would precondition calves here in the fall and then go out there in the summer.
Absolutely.
My wife ain't gonna have all that. She did not like Wyoming very much. But man, it's cool country to work in. It's like you're riding around. You're like, man, this is where cowboys are supposed to be. You know what I mean? It's like it's on the flag. It's on everybody's cars. You're like,
yes.
And I'm sure y'all have experienced this, and anybody listening that lives in the Southeast or, the eastern side of the United States, like if you go to dinner or something and you see somebody and they ask you what you do, and you're like, well, I'm a cowhand, and they're like, a what? Like then you got to explain it. Because I'm a cowboy. You're a cowboy for real. You're not a cowboy. I mean, what do you do for a living? And out there, it's like, well, what do you do? I'm a cowhand. Oh, okay. Like it's just normal. It's like a normal thing, which down here, even walking around in a cowboy hat, everybody thinks you're yee. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not yee, dadgummit. Freaking get out of here. Oh my goodness. But the cultural differences are pretty amazing between different parts of the United States. And you guys, anybody who's never gone out there or worked out there or whatever, it's like you're on another planet. Like you can't even believe you're in the same country.
Right.
If you come from the tree tunnel down here, up there, like driving around down here is like a tree tunnel. It's like you're in a tunnel full of trees. The whole way to y'all's house, I was in the tree tunnel the whole way. I was like, this dadgum tree tunnel. You can't see nothing. You can't look at nothing.
It's
just
kind of claustrophobic feeling when you get back.
Oh, it's terrible. There's a depression period that's real, very real. Soon as you get out of your truck and start sweating, you're pissed immediately. Just like, oh my gosh, why did anyone settle here? Like how did they stand it with no AC back then? Why didn't they just keep going? Oh my goodness. Well, that's cool, guys. So what do y'all got coming up? What's next?
We have an open horse show April 12th and our first rodeo of the season on May 10th. Those are the two next big things. And then we got a July 4th rodeo. And so far we only have one Carolina Ranch roping on our schedule, but we'll be at all the other ones with the rest of the association, and we'll help put those on. And of course, we're going to rope.
Well, it sounds like you're freed up for the Pro-Am. Sounds like we might be making a trip to the Pro-Am.
My goodness, it's on my bucket list. It's on my bucket.
Pedro,
list.
You gotta go, man. You have to go.
I'm working on her. She wants to put on all these events.
You gotta pay bills.
She wants to serve the community.
Just go win the Pro-Am, Gracie. It's the bet. It's the highest paying roping in the world.
Did you watch me rope?
You won the whole thing. That
with Pedro's help.
Well, I mean, you threw a Dell, for goodness sakes. Like that's the highest point shot you can throw at the Pro-Am.
I got lucky.
My goodness. We talked about this. I'm literally in the middle of making a video of this to go on YouTube, but it's an offensive sport, man. It's not. I got lucky. I tell my dad all the time, you should burn this into your brain, onto your soul, brand it onto your soul. When you catch, that should not surprise you. When you miss, that should surprise you. What in the world? What is wrong with this rope? Like, why didn't that go in there? It was perfect. You know what I mean? That's the biggest difference between me and my dad is like, I think when he misses, he was like expecting himself to miss. And when I miss, I'm like, what? Who threw that? What the heck? What is going on? Like, I don't know. You got to have you need to go play some like church league softball or some competitive ping pong. Like get the eye of the tiger. You know what I mean? Like where you can just turn it on and turn it off, like get mad really easy and just like, it's not fear anymore. It's anger. You know what I mean? Like you just got to go there.
I do. I need that practice. I got to be a little bit more aggressive.
Or you can get on saddle bronc horses. I bet you got to get pretty up for that.
No, thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, good guys. That was it was a great trip. Anybody out there listening that does clinics, if you do get invited to their place, it was an incredible environment, super fun. Met a lot of cool people. I even brought my cameraman Devin. Okay, so Davon ties ropes for me here at the rope shop. Let me break down my man's outfit on the way. And when he got in the car the morning we were driving there, I was like, this is gonna be rough here. So he gets in the car, and Devin had decided a couple of months before that he was gonna get some waves, which is a hair thing apparently. And in order to do this, you have to wear a do-rag. Okay. So I, of course, for 6 weeks straight, make fun of the do-rag every single day, religiously trying to let Devin know, like, we don't have to do-rag it, bro. We can just wear a ball cap. He gets in the car to drive to their place the morning of because he's coming to film for me. He's wearing bubblegum pink sweatpants with blue turquoise flames, okay? Turquoise flames and the do-rag. And I was like, okay, what would Jesus do? Right? I didn't say nothing. I said, all right, buddy, I'm going to love you no matter what. And if they don't love you, they're not Christians either. So here we go. Let's get after it. We got out of that freaking car 9 hours later and walked up to Pedro, and Pedro was like, hey, man, what's up? I couldn't believe it. I was like, all right, well, here we go. Well, they ended up nicknaming him Davon, and it was priceless. Devin got along good with everybody, though. He did it.
He was cool.
He's a good guy.
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
Yep.
He's a good dude. He got some really good film. I'm actually, I told him I'd pay him an extra $10 a day if he won't wear the do-rag anymore. And so he's going to film with my dad and Abby at this like huge ranch in Utah at the end of April. They're going to like a 4-day branding up there. And I was like, all right, bro, I'm going to send you, but you ain't going with me. Like, it's different up there. Like, you can't wear the do-rag up there, and you dang sure can't wear no bubblegum pink sweatpants, bro. Like, I don't care if it's the plane ride or not. If you walk out of the airport in bubblegum pink sweatpants, my dad's not going to let you get in the truck. Like, you just that ain't a thing, you know. And he was like, I was telling him about the do-rag thing, and he was like, if you'll pay me $10 more a day, I'll do it. I was like, you bet. You bet. Best $10 I ever spent. Shake on it. So, oh man, he is funny. Fantastic.
So, I have a question for you. Have you seen his forehead?
His forehead?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yes, he showed it to me there, but it's kind of he wears his hair all, you know. Okay, he's funny about it. He's funny about it being there, you know. And I like mine old school, like straight Air Force haircut. I've had it for 10 years. Skin fade up the side, push it over, you know. And I keep trying to tell him, like, you just need to get a haircut like me, man. But I'm the old guy, you know what I'm saying? He's like, nah, Mr. Dalton, man, I ain't doing that. He said, so I guess, what day did we go eat Mexican? The third day we were there? Second day we were there?
That was that Friday.
Yeah. So we had been there like 3 days, and Devin had been filming in the arena in a black do-rag, okay? No hat, no nothing. And Bro Dog is fried to the bone. I mean, burnt up. We are close to the sun. And so we're driving back from Mexican, and he's sitting in the passenger. He's like, dang, man, my ears are so burnt, man. My ears are so burnt. And I'm laughing because, you know, we're all wearing cowboy hats, so our ears don't get burnt. Like, that's why you wear the hat. Duh. And then I was laughing at him, and he was dead serious. He's like, man, I think this do-rag is like attracting the sun or something, man. It's burning my ears worse. The whole next day he wore a hoodie with the hood up. I was like, man, you look like a thug, dude. Would you take your hood off? Like, come on. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. But they got him roping, and they got him on a horse. he got on the biggest horse there. That horse was gigantic. It was like a dead blasted Clydesdale or something. That thing was huge. I'm not a big horse guy. I don't like looking silly while I try to get on because I already kind of look silly trying to get on. How's old Seabiscuit doing? Has he got his hair back yet?
Slowly but surely growing it back out, but he's doing good. He misses you.
That's fantastic. Yeah, see, they cut me Seabiscuit in my string, and they shaved him the day I got there. And they were like, yeah, he's kind of naked, but I was like, give me the naked horse. It's fine. It's no big deal. Seabiscuit was fantastic. I asked a little too much out of Seabiscuit when we were doing the guapo. I felt really bad about that. I was like, this is totally unfair to do this to this horse. But he did really good, and he rode good for you in the roping. It was good.
Yeah,
he's a absolute child's horse. That horse is worth $1 million. You could put any kid on earth on that thing, and they would be safe and sound. He might take him to the barn, though. He might take him back to the barn on accident because he sure liked to go over there. He knew right where that outgate was, old son. Every time I'd throw, he'd go with me to the herd, and I'd throw my rope, and I'd either miss or catch. But if I missed, I'd go to rebuilding, just not even paying attention to him, really. And he'd just turn, walk straight to the gate. It's like, Seabiscuit, where are you going? Get back over here.
He's like, if you can't catch, we might as well go to the barn.
Boy, I'm telling you, there's only one place on earth I've ever been that I didn't have to deal with barn sour horses, and that is Wyoming, because you're so far away from it. There's no way. I did ride one. He's really my best horse, but he was herd sour real bad, and he'd whinny. But he sounded like a T-Rex. Like, it wasn't like a pretty one, like a nay, you know what I mean? It was like, like screaming the whole way across the pasture, like for miles, dude. And it was funny because all the other guys I rode with would be like, we know where you're at the whole gather because we can hear your stupid horse screaming from across the pasture. Because anytime he could smell one or hear one, he would just go to, it was terrible. It was like, it was so loud. And it would like straight to your central nervous system. As soon as you do it, you're like, oh my God, what is wrong with you, man? It's fantastic. Horses are just the best, And I think the people who ride horses and don't get paid for it are kind of crazy, honestly. Like, if I was doing it for fun, I'd have a real hard time, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Loping in your bathing suit, bridleless and bareback on the beach is not what it's actually like. That is in the movies. That is not real. That is not real. Oh my gosh. Because Seabiscuit be headed right back to the barn and you're bridleless and bareback. Oh my goodness. That is so funny. Well, that's awesome. Well, guys, that's all I got. Y'all got anything else for me?
No, we appreciate you taking the time to do this with us. We really enjoyed having you and Davon out here, and we hope you'll come back.
Yeah, you bet. We'll schedule it. We'll just go on and put it on the books. I got one coming up. I'm supposed to go to Ohio at some point, and then we got one in Montana, I think. That one's next year, though. So, yeah, we'll just put it on the books and make it happen. Hopefully I get some cattle in here at some point. Then y'all can just come over here and we can just do it that way.
Sounds like a blast.
Y'all can just come rope cows and we'll just play. Right. Except for they'll be sick and wild and it'll be fun. Guys, y'all need to check out Cavvietta Quarter Horses and Cattle on Facebook. Gracie is all over the TikTok. Big TikToker. She likes the TikTok. That's where you messaged me, right? Or was it Facebook? Yep. The old TikTok.
The first one I sent was on TikTok, I think.
I don't ever check the messages, dude. Spam for days on that thing. Right. My goodness.
Yeah.
But yeah, check them out there. They should start a YouTube channel. I don't know if they're gonna, but I think they should because they would have all sorts of amazing stuff. It's an extra form of revenue. You need to take it serious and get after it.
We have a YouTube channel, but I don't post a whole lot on there like I should. So we'll try to get better at
Hey, does TikTok pay you?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Then do YouTube.
Okay.
Do YouTube.
All
Look
right.
up the stats. Everybody loves TikTok. but YouTube pays more. Okay? Do it. Plus, y'all could just literally do vlogs and they would be hilarious. Like, you don't even have to do any, like, you can do coaching and teaching if you want to, but like, you could follow Cam around all day and it would just be super funny. Like, honestly, I mean, he's a funny dude.
He is a funny guy.
You get him cutting the grass and just doing funny stuff. And I mean, I'm serious. I would watch that. And I don't watch anybody's YouTube, really. Some people's. I watch a lot of golf on YouTube because I watch cowboy stuff all day. And when I get home, I'm just like, okay, I can't watch any more roping or riding or nothing. So I watch golf and fishing. And yeah, which you get good ideas because they edit differently than us. You know, their edits are a little more polished because they actually make money doing what they do. Whereas we have to like beg, borrow, and steal to get stuff done. But yeah, so deeply encourage you to get your phone out and film everything you do and put it on YouTube for the world to see. It's super fun. And I think that y'all's community would rally behind that. I think they'd really like it. They didn't mind Davon, you know, filming. Everybody was comfortable. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got the right spot for it. You just stick, I mean, just stick your mom in front of that camera for about 5 minutes. Just do that.
That's a true story.
And you could do like Lou's story hour and just let her rip. Just get after it. Okay. Yeah. Listen, I want royalties. Okay. This turned into a business meeting. This is going to be awesome.
All right, yeah.
Then we can collaborate. It'll be great, guys. Get on it, okay? TikTok's going away. Don't worry about TikTok anymore. YouTube is king.
Okay, all right.
What's the name of the YouTube?
Cavvietta, quarter horse and cattle co.
Okay, go follow that right now. Hit the little bell so you get notified the next time they post a video because they're going to do it. Guys, thank y'all so much. It was fun visiting with you, and we'll get that clinic scheduled. If you're in the North Carolina area, be watching the Cavvietta website because they got clinics out their ears. They do all sorts of stuff. They had Dave Stamey out like the week before me. They do rope-ins. They do clinics. They do lessons. They do rope-ins. They do Charo stuff. They do bronc riding. It's crazy over there. It's just stuff every day. So go check it out. Give them a follow. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you in the next video.